Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Kat.
Welcome to Spice and Dice. Hi, I'm going to be making patty pan squash with seared scallops and linguine. So I'm going to sear the scallops. First, you need a hot pan. And I'm pouring a generous amount of olive oil because the scallops will stick if you don't. So hot pan, cold oil. And then I'm going to put my scallops in. Make sure you get these fresh, probably the day of or the day before, because they won't last long in the fridge. These are going to take probably about 3 to 4 minutes on each side to sear. Okay, and make sure you rinse your hands off. You don't want to contaminate any of the other surfaces with any of the bacteria that's living on the scallops. So I'm going to salt and pepper them. A little bit of salt. And since it's spice and dice, I like a lot of pepper. Fresh ground pepper. Never buy the pre-ground stuff because it doesn't have the same potency. Okay, so while that's searing, I will explain to you what I chopped. These are some squash that I chopped already. There's a zucchini, a yellow zucchini, and a white patty pan. And this is a patty pan squash. It has a lot of flavor, but it also has a high water content. So we're going to cook those after the scallops are done searing. So I just want to give this a quick chop, cut the edges off, and then I'd like to chop it maybe in about like 1/4 inch pieces. Just so they're nice and small, so they have pretty much the same integrity as the scallops.
And those scallops are smelling good.
Thanks. Okay. So we're going to check on our scallops here. Not quite. Not quite. You want it to be nice and brown. Those do smell good. We're also going to be putting some wine in our dish here. So I'm going to be using a white wine. Use a wine that you want to drink. You want it to be a good wine. Because obviously you're going to be drinking the rest of the bottle after you're done with the dish.
Right. And some of it while you're making the dish too,
yeah,
usually.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright. I like to let my scallops warm up a little bit to room temperature before I cook them, because then it will cook through evenly. You won't get like really cold raw in the middle and really brown on the outside. You want it to be nice and cooked the whole way through. Almost time to flip. I'm going to give the pan a little spin. Sometimes the burner makes the pan hotter in one area than another. So you just want to make sure that the whole pan gets evenly cooked. I'm all about even cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's especially important if you don't have a gas stove.
Yes, yes. So I also made some linguine here earlier. And this is a whole wheat linguine. It gives your dish a little more of a health factor than regular white flour linguine. And I made it al dente. This linguine I cooked for 6 minutes in boiling water with a little spray of olive oil so the noodles didn't stick together. So I believe our scallops might be ready for the flip here. Oh, look at that. They're starting to brown up really nicely.
Give it a look at those.
I'm all about using my fingers today.
That's fine as long as they're clean.
Yeah. As long as you can get your fingers in there. They're the best tools you have. Scallops are finished. Wow, they look great. So now I'm going to deglaze the pan with some of my wine. So you'll want probably like a cup of wine in there, I'd say. And you want to use a whisk to get all the nice little bits off the bottom of the pan. because that'll give you all the flavor that you need.
So is that going to be sort of like a sauce then, Courtney?
Yeah, this is what's starting to make the sauce. You're going to throw your veggies in here, and that's going to give it lots and lots of flavor. And this also burns off of the alcohol, so you don't have to worry about giving it to your kids or any of that stuff. So these are some shallots that I chopped earlier. I use shallots instead of onions because they seem to have a lot more flavor. So that's one whole shallot. And I have garlic scapes, actually, that I got from my farm share. It comes in a long string of a green vegetable, and it's the young garlic. So I chopped that up, and I'm going to throw that in as well. And that's going to give a lot of flavor. And color as well, because it's green.
It's important to have a bunch of different colors.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So I'm going to let this cook for a minute in the wine. And I'm also going to throw a little more olive oil in, just to give it that nice olive oil flavor. And I'm going to put some butter in it too. That gives it a nice richness. So just like a little bit of butter. We want to try to keep this healthy as possible. So maybe just like a half a tablespoon or so. I just kind of chop it up and throw it in. I don't really measure too much, but you can see how much. Okay, so then I'm also,
a tablespoon, yeah.
Juiced 1 lemon. So I'm going to throw that in there as well. And now I'm going to put in my patty pan squash, zucchini, and yellow squash that I chopped up earlier. And that's going to have to cook for about 10 minutes to get it nice and soft and for all of the juices and aromas to start flowing. And since it's spice and dice, I got some nice fresh oregano that I chopped from my farm share as well. And we're going to throw that in, and that'll give it great flavor.
Looks delicious. Look at all that.
Maybe
yummy.
throw a little salt and pepper on there.
Sure. Never hurts.
Yeah. The salt also will help bring the moisture out of the patty pan squash. So then you'll have a little bit more juice from the squash in your sauce.
Now, Courtney, do you ever put a little water in when you're sauteing squash? Because I usually put like a splash of water, but I guess maybe you have the wine, so you don't need that?
I find that enough liquid comes out of the squash when I cook it that I don't need that. But if your pan starts to get dry, if you have it on a high heat like you're supposed to, then you might want to throw a little bit of water in.
Okay, just wondered.
Yeah.
So it's good to compare notes with fellow cooks.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, so I am a vegetarian, so I like to make really simple vegetarian dishes that can be ready in pretty much 30 minutes or less is what I aim for. It doesn't always happen, but that's the goal. So I'm gonna make a lentil salad, which is gonna be a great side dish to Courtney's scallop pasta that she's making, or you can just eat it as your main course, which is what I'm gonna do for dinner. But so I went ahead earlier and steamed a whole pound of lentils, which only takes about 15 minutes. It's super easy, and it's just about 6 cups of water and a 1 pound bag of lentils. And then I'm making a vinaigrette. It's a ground Dijon mustard vinaigrette. I love whole grain mustard. I think it's great for making all different kinds of sauces. So this is 4 ounces of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of whole grain mustard, 1 ounce of white wine vinegar, and then generous amount of fresh ground sea salt and fresh ground black pepper. Which I think it's hard to have too much of either of those things, really. I guess you can oversalt, but it's sort of hard to overpepper. And then what I always do for this salad, I always chop up 2 ripe tomatoes. And then I pick one other vegetable, either a green vegetable or an orange vegetable. And the green vegetable I usually use is cucumbers, but I didn't have any cucumbers today. But what I did have was carrots. So I chopped up about 4 or 5 carrots, and I'm like Courtney, I don't really measure very much either. So I just chopped up what I thought would be a proportionate amount to the amount of tomatoes.
That'll give a great color to your salad.
I think it's really important, like you said before when you were making yours, color, the variety of color is really important in a dish. And, you know, since the lentils are green, I think that the red and orange are going to be a nice summer colorful salad. And I need some spoons to mix it with. Hold on.
Check out this salad. It's coming together nicely. In the bottom.
Okay.
There you go. That salad looks great.
It's tasty. It's really simple. Oops. You know, I am a messy cook, I have to say that.
Everybody is. It's no fun unless you can make a mess.
Exactly. As long as the end result tastes good, who cares? So I'm just gonna toss this, and I did allow some time for the lentils to cool down. So if this is something that you're gonna serve that day, you might want to make the lentils the day before, just to keep the time, you know, the prep time down. Because you don't really want this to be a hot salad. It should be a cold salad for the summer. But look at how look at that variety.
That's coming together nicely.
Yeah. It's gonna be really tasty. And lentils are so good for you. They have so many different health benefits. And you know, for vegetarians, we have to make sure we get plenty of protein because, you know, people always say, what do you eat? Well, legumes are an excellent source of protein. So try to make sure you get lots of them, regardless of whether or not you eat meat. They're still good for you.
Yeah, and legumes are very low in fat as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're low in fat, they're high in fiber, and protein. So there's a lot of different things that you need that they provide. So, and of course, carrots and tomatoes are delicious and seasonal. So this is pretty much tossed. So I think we should go check on the scallop dish and see how that's coming together, and we should have a nice dinner ready here shortly.
Hi, and we are now finished and ready to assemble our scallops with linguine. So I'm going to take a nice handful of the linguine and put it on the plate. And our squash turned out nicely. Make sure you taste your squash because sometimes it needs a little more salt, a little more pepper. It's better to undersalt than to oversalt.
Definitely.
So I'm going to spoon some of this mixture out onto my linguine.
Yeah, you can always add more. You can't it's really hard to.
Smell that. It smells great. And there's a nice array of summer colors here. This is a very seasonal dish. Everything should be fresh. And you can even find it at the farmer's market right now. So I'm going to throw a couple of scallops on, if they don't fall in the And then I'm going to top it with a little bit of white truffle oil. This is decadent. This is the stuff. It smells so great and delicious. You can find this in any specialty food store. So I just want a little drizzle like all over the top, and it'll give it a great flavor. And I did grate some Parmigiano Reggiano earlier, and I'm gonna throw some of that on top as well. And we are almost good to go. Now, Kat needs to bring her lentils over, and we will show you the whole assembled dish. Hi, welcome back. We are ready to go here with our lentil salad and our linguine and scallops. And as you see, I made Kat a vegetarian version without the cheese and without the scallops.
I'm really excited to try it.
Yes,
It's delicious.
yes, me too.
Let's check this out.
Yeah. Very good. The truffle oil gives it a
Yeah, I was
nice
just gonna say,
flavor.
the truffle oil makes it really rich, while the lemon juice keeps it like fresh and light for the summer.
Oh, and the lentil salad is delicious.
Thank you.
I love the vinegar punch and it really
big punch.
it really cuts the oil from my linguine dish. And very nice.
Go together.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And then we didn't really.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Yeah, it's a very fresh summer meal.
It is.
And please join us again for Spice and Dice.
Come back for some more healthy, spicy, delicious creations with two spicy cooks.